It's good to see you guys. Today was a good day. You know, the camp has been good to see the maturation and just the improvement from the guys that have been here. They've continued to get better. A lot of them are now in leadership roles, which is really good to see. And then a lot of our younger players, a lot of playing time today, or new players. So both freshmen and transfers, I thought, really contributed to what today was. So good feelings about what we've done and what we're doing. Take any questions you guys got.
Coach Aranda, you being a defensive guy, what particular improvements from last year to this year did you want to see from the defense, and what improvement areas have you seen through camp so far?
There's a level of comfort, a settling down of anxiety maybe in terms of just how to get aligned and communication between each other. I think that has really settled down, and that's allowed us to put cleats in the grass and play faster. And then I think there's guys that have been through the good and the bad from last year, and so I think moving forward into this year, there's a big a lot of leadership in the do's and don'ts, and so that's very helpful. I think as coaches, we're talking that way for sure, but when a player says it, when KT says it, or Jackie Marshall says it, or Carl Williams says it, it's probably better.
Let me ask you about just in terms of the offense, that development. I know what it was, the leadership. You mentioned leaders. Who have stepped up as leaders?
Well, I mean, Josh Cameron's done a good job of leading. I think it's uncomfortable for him to probably get in people's faces and say strong words at times, but it's needed, and he's doing that. And then Sawyer always has a gift of bringing guys together, and he's doing that today still. But he's also able to call guys out, and I think the calling out part's important. I think sometimes when you're around a bunch of nice guys, the nice guys can be taken advantage of. And so to have the ability to kind of be yourself and have your heart wide open like how God made you, but to be able to call out the BS, I think that is a really strong leader, and we've got some guys that are fitting that role.
KT is that guy on
KT on defense, Devin Bobby on defense, Amarion Winston on defense, and Jackie Marshall.
Dave, yesterday I saw Dawson Pendergrass.
He's out for the year. Yeah, it's too bad. So that's a definite misfortune. So he's going to have surgery on his foot.
Are there any other injury concerns?
No.
Can you clarify what the injury was with Dawson?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have surgery on his foot, and it's going to take it's going to take the majority of the season to come back from it. And so, we were hoping for better news with seeing the doctor and the X-rays and that. But I think it's something that Dawson's wrapping his mind around, and we're all here to support him. I feel good about our depth behind him. We've got some young players that are now going to be pressed into playing a little bit earlier than maybe they were thinking.
Talking about that depth, how much more pressure that you got? Cade Knightley got us drawn a lot of buzz. Obviously Bryson. Just how much more responsibility is to put on the rest of your running back room with that injury?
Yeah, I think that's true all the way. That's true in any position room with football, and that's what's great about our game is that there's the ability to do that. And I think sometimes as coaches you can put people into a box. I don't think you intentionally ever want to do that, but you can go, hey, he's young, let him learn. But when you really press somebody into service and you really press them to work, and you challenge them, and you give them adversity and you push them through it, a lot of times they surprise you with what they can come up with. But we've got a good room, talented players, and so I expect for them to step up.
Were there any standouts on the scrimmage today that you would like to highlight?
I thought that offensive line did a nice job of working their combos and working up in the tight zone game. I thought Caden played well. I thought there's a couple cuts he made. There's one where I think the ref said that we got him. I don't know if we got him though, And so he had a really good run. I think his pass protection is improving. And then I think defensively, some of the young linebackers I thought played well. Caleb Burns played well, and Matthew Fobbs-White played well.
You mentioned a lot of the new first-year transfers. Are they do Do you feel like they're fully integrated with the team at this point?
We talked about that today because I think we had Teddy Atlas come visit us in the summertime, and one of Teddy's saying is that the ring is a cauldron of truth, and there is a revealing and there is a truth telling that comes when you enter a ring and you get into a fight, and you're making the point that this football field is the same way. And I think when you come in and you're new and you're here for a couple months, and hey, the coach is this way, the coaches are this way, the players say this is up on the wall, this is kind of how I think we're supposed to be. You can kind of fly under the radar, but when you get here and you're tired and you're hurting and you're hot and you got to make a play and there's people yelling in your ear and all this other thing, the real you has a way of coming out. And so that was true today, and I think it was a lot of positive in that. But I think we still got to be able to push that envelope to get our guys to really kind of come out of their deal and be themselves.
Dave, you talked about that ball brotherhood battle. And you talked about what it is, but what was the genesis of that? What made y'all have something like that, or did it just happen naturally?
I think to bring football back into center focus. I thought, starting last year and continuing into this year, to have football as kind of the main focus, and it sounds probably ridiculous to say that, but there's been such an emphasis on me on school and character development and faith and living out your faith, and while I still believe in those things, football is very important. And so I thought that the ball brotherhood battle kind of said it all.
Coach, how important is it, you talk about faith as a faith-based program, Sawyer, is very out loud about his faith.
Mm-hmm.
So how important is it for you to have a leader that's faith-based with the way you lead your program?
I think one of the things for me and for us really is with the leaders that we got and how they're leading. And you go all the way up to Dr. Linda Livingstone and Mac Rhodes, and you go all the way up there, all the way down to, a Sawyer or a Michael Allen, and is that you have people that are authentic, and they see what God sees in other people, and there's just a real authentic love, I feel. And so to have that, but then still hit somebody in the mouth, maybe, gang tackle somebody, right? Fight for that extra yard, push that pile back, is that, hey, man, you can be both of those things. You can do both of those things. And I think it's just really strong. I think we have got some young guys right now that are seeing that and seeing how that looks. And so my hope is that will continue when the guys that we got right now are moving on to bigger and better things.
Since we got them yesterday, where are you on the kickers and deep snappers, stuff like that? Those are battles ongoing.
Today was a little mixed,
yeah.
Wish today was a little bit cleaner than what it was. And so I say to be continued.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Carl, I know he missed some games last year. Is he back 100% or close to it?
He's close to it. I'd probably say about 70%. I think he's on a pitch count, so we're trying to hold him from maybe overdoing it. And so it's still yet to be determined on whether or not that's a camp thing or that's a season thing. We're under the impression that's a camp thing right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Will he, hopefully be the nickel guy?
Yes. Yeah. Now, there's a couple good plays today by a couple of our nickels, and so I'm hopeful that is a position of strength. We've been through some dark woods, so to come out and delight with some playmakers at that position would be good.
Speaking on nickels, Coach, do you see Calvin Simpson-Hunt as a guy that could get some nickel, or you see him more as a true boundary field corner?
He's playing corner right now. He's doing a nice job of being physical and of tackling and of blitzing. And his coverage stuff has gotten better and better. I think the game is starting to slow down for him, which I think is really key. That's the most important thing for him. I think attribute-wise, care factor-wise, athletically-wise, all of it lines up. I think we just got to get him to the game to slow down, or our language to sink in enough so it slows down for him.
Is there any honor Alex this season, and have you guys given any thought maybe what you're going to do in that?
We have, yeah. I mean, there's going to be we're going to be able to honor him some just on our helmets, and then we're talking about, his family moved from where they were in Mississippi to out here in Texas, and we're going to be able to have them down around us, and so still in contact with his mom all the time, and so it'd be good to see them here come first game of the year. All right. Yeah.
Oh, I was got Steve Lynn, the guy I covered at Syracuse. He was big for y'all's pass rush
Yeah.
last year. Guy Matthew Fox-White you mentioned.
Yeah.
How critical is it for you as a defensive guy to have an elite pass rusher like that, be able to get pressure only sending forward, not having to blitz?
Yeah, it sets the table. I think when if you have two edge defenders where if they're rushing wide and the tackles have to set out wide and kick out wide to pick them up, then that opens up stuff inside. And then if that's an issue, then they got to bring a tight end in. Now there's only 3 guys going out. So it sets the table. If you don't have it, then you're trying to create make-believe stuff all the way across the board to try to build a simulator rush. But the best way to get a rush is to let them rush if you got them, and then from there play off how they're protecting. And so we're hopeful we can follow that script. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Dave.